Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot, like the prodigal son.
Hi guys, this is my very first makeup tutorial video on YouTube, but I would love to do a tutorial of this look. It's a very simple, everyday look. Just some shimmery shadows, a little bit of winged liner. It's super duper easy. It's what I do almost every day that I wear makeup. So if you want to see the steps that it takes to get to this look, please stay tuned and keep watching. Bye! So for this look, I wanted to start out with a flawless face. So I'm using my trusty, tried and true Naked Skin foundation from Urban Decay. I'm in the shade 2.0 and I really love this foundation. I think that it gives a nice flawless base for the skin. I'm going to be blending that in with my beauty blender that I got a little bit damp. It really just helps the makeup to soak into the skin a little bit better by using the beauty blender. So after that 10 years of blending my foundation into my skin, I'm going to go in with my concealer. This is the NYX HD Photogenic Concealer, which I've heard is a good dupe for the Smashbox one. I like this stuff. It's pretty inexpensive and I think that it does a good job. It doesn't really sink into fine lines or anything like that. You can see me making a face at the camera because I look like someone that just stepped out of Coachella. But again, just blending this concealer in with my beauty blender. So once I have my foundation and concealer, I'd like to set all of my work with the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. This is in the shade 004 Sandstorm. I use that on a big flat kabuki brush and really just pat it onto the skin instead of rubbing it. That really helps the makeup to stay all day long. Taking special care to put it in the T-zone where my face gets oily the quickest. I'm then going in with my eyeshadow primer. This is Urban Decay's eyeshadow primer potion in the anti-aging variety. You can pretty much use any kind of primer for your eyes or concealer if you don't have an eyeshadow primer, and it all pretty much does the same thing. This is going to keep my eyeshadow bright and long-lasting. So clearly I was a little confused about what palette I was going to put on my eyes, but I landed on the Anastasia palette. This is the Tamanna Dress Your Face palette, and I'm starting out with the color Blush. It's a really pretty, very shimmery champagne color, and I'm going to pack that over the eyelids of both of my eyes. And you can really put as much as you want on. Personally, I like to be able to really see it in contrast to the next color I'm going to put on, so I like to really pack that color on. The next color I'm going to be using out of this palette is called Bengal. I completely covered that up with the brush, I'm sorry. This is just kind of a tawny, golden, orangey brown. It really looks awesome on anyone with blue eyes. But you could really use it with whatever eye color you have, and I'm packing that into the crease and the outer V of my eye, which will then be blended all together with that first color.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot, like the prodigal son. Big up to Lini, Mini, Money, Mo, and Flower, you're the chosen one.
And once I've really packed both of those colors on, I'm going to take a tiny bit more of Bengal on a fluffy blending brush and really make sure both of those colors flow seamlessly into one another. I'm going to take that, mainly focus that on the outer V of my eye, but bringing it slowly into the crease. And before I forget, both of the eye brushes that I used were from e.l.f. I'm then going to go back in with that original color, pack a little bit more on just so it's really vibrant up against that Bengal color. Then going in and blending just a little bit more, which is a totally unnecessary step. I'm just a little OCD about blending. I'm then going to go in with a big fluffy clean blending brush, which is actually a concealer brush with the color Fresh from this palette, which is just a light nude. I'm using that as a brow highlight as well as to kind of clean up the outer edges of my makeup. Now it's time for liner. I'm going in with the e.l.f. Expert Liquid Liner, and we're going to draw 2 evenly spaced wings. The easiest way to do this, I think, is to go from the bottom lash line and kind of draw a line as if that was going to continue up your eye. I feel like that's the easiest way to get it to be even on both sides. And then once you feel like you've perfected that, we're going to go in from the corner of that line and then draw kind of a triangular shape back to the lash line and then fill it in. That's usually, at least for me, that's the way I would normally do a cat eye. I just think it makes it a little bit easier than trying to do it from the other end. And then I'm going in and completely blocking my one eye. I apologize for that, but you'll be able to see it on the other side. And just going in and cleaning up my liner on that side, trying to make sure that it's nice and smooth and flows right out to that cat eye on the other side. Now I'm doing the same thing on the other side, only not blocking my eye, so hopefully you can actually see it this time. Doing the exact same thing, drawing my triangle, filling it in, and then I usually will go from the outer edge of my eye into the inner edge of my eye. I just think it makes the line somehow look a little bit smoother. Then I'll usually double check to make sure they're even, or at least as even as they're gonna get. And now it's time for some mascara. I'm going in, this is the Benefit's They're Real mascara. It's one of my all-time favorites. I will definitely coat my lashes from top to bottom. A good trick for mascara to get your lashes to be super voluminous is to kind of wiggle the wand back and forth. Right now you can see me kind of coating the top and bottom lashes with this Benefit's They're Real and going back in for a second coat once the first one is done. Then I noticed that I totally got black stuff all over my eye from my mascara, so you'll see me trying to smudge it and fix it a little bit here. Now is time for my favorite part of the tutorial, my brows. Anyone that knows me knows I am absolutely obsessed with eyebrows, so the first thing that I like to do is comb them through, make sure they're all going in the same direction. This is using a double-ended brush from Anastasia with the spoolie on the one end and the little angle brush on the other end. I am using my absolute favorite brow product, which is the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade. I use the color Taupe. I know it's a little bit darker than my hair color, but that is the color that my hair naturally grows in on my face. So I just like to darken it up and shape them. I usually will do the outer edge first and then go back in and kind of go through with the spoolie and make sure that it's evenly distributed. I don't like my brows to look 100% super polished, like they look like they were painted onto my face. I like them to look like hair, so I really go through with the spoolie and try to evenly distribute the product. And then I'm just doing the exact same thing with the other eye. And now that we're done with the eyes, it is time to move on to bronzer. This is the Jane bronzer, kind of hit pan on it, so I've been using it a lot. I like this stuff. It wasn't too expensive. Got it from Ulta. This is in the color Dream. It's just a matte bronzer. It doesn't have any shimmer to it, which is what I like. I'm not going in super contour heavy, but I am just carving a little bit out of my cheekbones with a blush brush, just going along my cheekbones, up my temple, all the places that the sun would naturally hit. I go a little bit on the sides of my nose and my chin trick to get rid of any kind of a double chin that you might think you have. Go right along the jawline and it really slims the face. Then I'm going in with blush. This is kind of a combo blush and highlight. This is Maybelline's Master Highlight by Face Studio in the shade Coral. It's kind of a little patchwork of both coral shades and highlight shades, so I like to swirl it around, apply to the apples of my cheeks and up into the temples. And then I will usually dust just the tiniest bit along the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, and on my chin, just to give my face a little bit of extra sparkle. And there you go. That is the finished look. So I really hope that you enjoyed this. This was my very first video to ever come up on YouTube that was a makeup tutorial, so if you want to see more where this came from, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I'm really just getting started, so I'm going to try to put out as many videos as possible, but I hope you enjoyed this look, and stay tuned for more. Bye!